More concessions, more delays. Farage warns Remainers dramatic Brexit moment is coming. Mr. Farage, speaking to Nick Ferrari on LBC, argued that no one told him in 2016 that the referendum result would be the best of three. He said, "The can has been kicked down the road again. More concessions, more delays, and at some point there is going to be a very dramatic moment in British politics when we discover whether we will actually leave the European treaties at 11 p.m. on March 29 next year. I still on balance think that we will leave, but that it will be a pretty rotten deal." The arch-Brexiteer claimed a pathetic lack of leadership had caused the current Brexit problems. He continued, "Most of our MPs in Westminster want to stop Brexit. They do not respect the vote of the people." The junior minister Philip Lee, who resigned his ministerial post yesterday morning, said he is doing it because we need to be protected against ourselves. "We are too thick and stupid and Parliament must take back control of the process. I know it is tough for Theresa May, but frankly we are where we are because of a pathetic lack of leadership. It is not scrutiny effectively what Grieve is pushing for as to the ability to have a veto, or what he really wants is to push this to a second referendum. That's what George Soros the billionaire wants, and he is the guy who is kind of bankrolling all of this. They want us to vote again because they think we have made a mistake, and no one told me back in 2016 that it was the best of three." It follows British MEP Gerard Batten, who compared Brexit to a modern peasant revolt against out-of-touch overlords while issuing a warning to the European Parliament that rebellion is stirring in other countries. Speaking during a plenary session in Strasbourg, the UKIP leader outlined an ambition for the UK to become a Europe of independent democratic nation-states. He said, "Rebellion is now stirring in Hungary, Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria and elsewhere. The tide is turning against the EU. Best of all, we have Brexit, a modern peasant's revolt against our out-of-touch overlords. When Britain leaves the European Union, we can point the way for a Europe of independent democratic nation-states. Most people want a Europe of genuine trade, friendship and cooperation. They do not want rule from Brussels." Arch-Europhile Guy Verhofstadt has continued his political rivalry with Nigel Farage by accusing the Brexiteer of being a cheerleader for Russian leader Vladimir Putin. The Belgian MEP shouted across the Strasbourg chamber at his British counterpart, suggesting he was part of a fifth column inside the European Union trying to destroy the bloc. Mr. Verhofstadt called for an end to cooperation with nationalist leaders, such as Italy's Matteo Salvini, in order to protect the EU as it is today. He said, "Inside the European Union we have a fifth column amongst us. I call them the cheerleaders of Putin, Farage, Le Pen, Wilders, and the friends of them are sitting here. In fact, doing just one thing: they take money from the Kremlin, they take the intelligence of the Kremlin. Like Aaron Banks, the friend of Mr. Farage, who colluded with Russians to make Brexit happen. These people have only one goal, and that is to destroy Europe, to kill our liberal democracy.